Hi everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing one of the first lenses I ever bought, the Rokinon 8mm Fisheye Lens. So this was the second lens I bought after my kit lens. And in hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea, but at the time, I didn't have much money, and I was looking for something cheap and unusual, and this was certainly both of those. Now, fisheye is a pretty specialized sort of lens. It is meant to have a huge amount of distortion, and that it can be really tricky to work with, as is the extremely wide angle you have to get used to shooting at. This is a 8mm lens, which is made for APS-C size sensors, which means that 8mm gets cropped down. So this has actually got a working focal length of more around 12mm, which, you know, that's still extremely wide, and it is tricky to work with. But you can get some really cool images with that if you can use that extremely wide focal length in a creative fashion. So the Rokinon 8mm lens is actually quite sharp, and it doesn't suffer from a lot of defects I've found, except for, of course, distortion. But that is built into any fisheye lens. That's something you're always going to have to deal with and know how to use creatively. So the build quality of this lens is actually fairly good. I really like how Rokinon makes their lenses. They're very, very solid feeling. They've got a metal lens mount and are actually largely made out of fairly high quality materials. I do have to say that the rubberized lens ring, though it turns nice and smoothly, has a fairly short distance throw. But that's, you know, fine for an 8mm lens because everything's going to be in focus anyway. It's so wide angle. The problem I have is that the material has faded significantly since I purchased this lens. And yeah, it's just turned from sort of a nice black to a kind of ugly faded gray. You know, works just fine, but not a very aesthetically pleasing. Also, I do find the aperture ring here to be, you know, just a little bit off. It's fine, but it's very plasticky, that bit. But overall, the build quality is fine. You've got a huge glass element surrounded by a thick plastic built-in lens hood, and that's fine. You can't put any filters. You can't put any like screw-on filters on this lens since this is great big wide glass element with no filter threads. You're gonna have to use square filters if you want to use filters on this thing. Overall, build quality fine. A few issues, but you know, mostly fine. So you can see this lens is actually pretty good for vlogging. It's a bit like a GoPro, actually, maybe a bit wider even. And I'm going to go film some video with it, and we're going to see how that looks. So yeah, this lens isn't perfect from a build quality standpoint, but I can excuse the issues with you know, not being quite perfect because it's only about 200 bucks. This is a pretty darn cheap lens. It's manual only, you know, manual focus, manual aperture, got no contacts to the directly to the camera, but it's cheap. About the price of a nifty 50, and it's a fun lens that you can pick up for not very much money, and you know, just go out and shoot and get really creative with it. And so for that, it's pretty cool. It's actually a fun lens to get if you're a beginner and you've got a, you know, your kit lens, you've got your little 50mm, you've got your, you know, a kind of a decent little set, and you want something to have some fun with. And that's what this one is. This is a lens that's great for creativity, and it's very affordable. And so, yeah, I can recommend it. If you're looking for a fisheye lens, this is a pretty cheap, pretty cool option. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button, like button, the little notification bell. It all helps me, and I really like sharing all of my work with you, and I really appreciate all my viewers and all my subscribers. And yeah, I've got a lot of cool content over my channel, more gear reviews, nature videos of all kinds, aerial videos. I make a lot of stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all again next time. Bye.